door seals. And away it goes, and you keep on tugging it. It goes all the way around the door frame. And that was the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 back in 2007 for John Bowe and Jonathan Webb, a very young Jonathan Webb. Webber, you got into the series in 2006 in terms of an endurance ride, and you've made your home there in the recent past, but you've always been successful. You did very well in Carrera Cup and racing the Porsches, and you've had a lot of family support. I've known your dad to mention. He's been in the paddock for a long time. You're always destined to be a successful racer.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've taken our time, we've sat back and planned my career from the early days back in Porsche Cup and Carrera Cup. So, you know, those steps through, they've all helped me to get to where I am.
He's a massively extraordinary. Was he good to work with? Did you learn a lot from John along the way?
I did, absolutely. And, you know, Sandown, Bathurst, where, you know, they're big races for us, and typically the number one driver, he gets in, does his thing and gives me a couple of laps on the backside. But JB was very different to what I was used to, and, you know, gave me a lot of miles and a lot of tuition on the way through, and really helped me the whole weekend through.
Now, this guy's not the only good young guy around, but we can see we're in good hands. Another guy we caught up with earlier, young James Moffat. Let's have a look as he steps up to the big time.
James, you've stepped into the championship-winning car from last year. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's definitely a good thing. Clearly there's big shoes to fill there, but it's a fantastic opportunity for me, and to be joining DJR, who are arguably the most iconic team in the country, is a big honour, and I'm really looking forward to working alongside Dick and Stephen.
The reaction from the Ford fans with your announcement has been pretty much fever pitch. Are they maybe expecting a bit too much too soon, considering the surname?
Well, I hope not. So clearly this is going to be a learning year for me. Somebody informed me the other day I'm actually the only rookie in the series this year. Everybody else has at least 1 year experience in the category, or if not more. So I didn't realise that, but for me there's going to be some tracks that I haven't driven a V8 supercar at, like Abu Dhabi for starters. So look, it's going to be a learning year again for me, and I'm really looking forward to it.
You've done 2 years now in the Fujitsu series. Does that get you ready for the championship series, or is it simply a case that you can never be ready for this?
Oh, look, the championship is so tough these days that, you know, half a tenth of a second can be sometimes 3 or 4 spots on the grid. So the development series serves its purpose in terms of giving guys coming up through the ranks miles in the cars. But we're looking forward to this year, and hopefully doing the best job we can.
So tell me, what can you learn off Dick Johnson that you can't learn off Alan Moffat?
Well, probably the biggest difference, and I'm sure Dad will accept this, is Dick's still in the game, whereas whilst Dad still follows the sport keenly, he hasn't been actively involved in the sport in a capacity as a team owner or anything like that for, it's over 10 years. So Dick is up to date with all the mod cons, so to speak. So you know, I often have to tell Dad that these things don't have oil pressure gauges in them. They're all in the Motec system. So you know, there's things like that you know, Dick's obviously in touch with. And you know, clearly they did a good job last year as a team, and Dick's a fighter, and for them to come through, you know, it was well publicised, I guess, issues with the team in terms of ownership towards the end of last year, and I think for them to pull through just shows how much of a fighter Dick and the team is.
In a couple of words, what's your expectation for this year? Have you got a goal in mind?
Haven't really thought about it, Aaron. For me, it's been a really short off-season. Usually racing the development series the last 2 years, we don't kick off till March in Clipsal, so off-season's usually a couple of months longer, but I don't know, it's probably too hard to predict anything, but you know, I just want to try and finish every race if I can, and that way I'll be learning as much as possible.
So, Webby, I've got to ask you, Neil did a ripper interview with Craig Lowndes recently where Craig conceded that the younger guys coming through were a bit braver, a bit more daring. Do you feel that? Do you feel that ability over the older guys?
Oh, I think the young thing probably helps me at this stage. The old boys that are probably in their comfort zone a little bit. So we've come along. We're going to try and push them along and get them out of their comfort zone.
That old boys, eh? Cop that.
Surrounded by all these young blokes. They're making us feel old at the moment. It was a great start to the championship series, though, for James Moffat with a 16th in race 1 at Abu Dhabi. We're going to wrap up the show after the break, come back and have a bit more of a chat to Jonathan Webb. Stay with us on V8 Extra.
It's business only for Sebastian Bourdais. He's kind of a professor of his craft. Sebastian Bourdais, very methodical of what he does. Very, very driven, 4 champ car titles in a row. He had success here twice. He's brought a lot to this team. They like the way he operates.
The greatest show on wheels is heading to New Zealand. The V8 supercars tackle the ITM 400 on the streets of Hamilton. It's a rock and race Trans-Tasman Challenge with Van Gisbergen, Coulthard and Murphy defending the local honour. The ITM 400 Hamilton, April 15 to 17.
Yes, it's going to be a must-see event for our Kiwi V8 supercar fans. The ITM 400 on the streets of Hamilton, and we've got some tickets to give away, 5 double passes. So in 25 words or less, the email address on the screen there, fire us a note with lots of passion, like you see like program as to why you'd like to go to the event. Next big event for us also is the Clipsal 500, as you can see on screen, March 18, 19 and 20. Coverage on 7, Saturday and Sunday. Again, all the details will be on the V8 supercar website.
Webby, OK, we're going into Clipsal this year, 15th in both races last year. Now, something's changed between now and last year. You've been married in the off-season. Since I was married, I got slower. Neil's been married about 8 times and didn't help him at all. How are you going to approach this year differently?
I think firstly we'll try and break the trend then, if that's the normal way. So we'll go at it, and we've had a few setup changes to the car this year. The car wasn't ideal last year. I've never really got comfortable with the place, so I can settle those things down. I've done a couple of K around there last year, so go there this year. We know what we need to do. Yep. Car's good. We've had a good start to the season, so hopefully we can carry that momentum. Got
to ask you the hard question, mate. This season, realistically, Jonathan Webb, where can you land in the championship?
I think we've got to go better than we did last year. 13th last year. I mean, I'm hoping to come away again this year with the top 10. We're there now, and last year we came home from the Middle East in 12th, finished 13th, so I figured come home 8th this time. Worst we can do is 9th.
He's on the front foot.
Yeah, he is. Good job so far this year, mate. Good luck for the balance of the season. Good luck at the Clipsal, and we'll be keeping a close eye out. Well done on the achievements so far.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Jonathan Webb there from Mother Energy Racing. Larko, we're out of time. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. It's good to see we're in good hands with these young blokes.
Yeah, we're in good hands with the young blokes. I'm not in good hands with my co-host. So if anybody'd like to apply for that job, I'll put the email up on screen there for you as well. Thanks, boys. Our next V8 Extra, well, that's coming up.
Sorry, Sass.
We're on the road next week. It's men behaving badly on the Gold Coast. At Paul Morris Motorsport, we'll have Russell Ingle, Steve Owen and Paul Morris. There's going to be a ripper show next Saturday midday. Hope you can join us for that one. Bye for now from the whole team at V8 Extra.